So essentially today in my Minecraft video we're going to be playing this mod, but in this mod it's not going to be the same. See, I'm going to be running this SMP called the Glitch SMP, and in this SMP players can not only form alliances and stuff like that, like a normal SMP, but they could also craft a bunch of glitchy stuff. As in things like sand explodes, or maybe you can craft infinite iron. It really doesn't matter what you do. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities to this mod. Not to mention, like, there's a lot of other, vanilla plus mods, because it's actually more of a mod pack. And my friends are going to run the Glitch SMP, and we're going to see what happens. So, Industrial and BLGZYT had joined the server. These two were pretty good at the mod, and knew what they were doing. Industrial was already raiding the village, which did not take him long. I mean, seriously, he was trying to speedrun. While in the meantime, BLGZYT was just taking in the world and meeting the local wildlife, which, they're not very friendly. So it appeared that BLGZYT started taking it serious and began to raid the village for resources. And at the same time, Industrial began to chop some wood, which would be pretty good. Not to mention, right after BLGZYT started chopping some wood and realized that he found a glitch log, which would actually become really useful later in the game. So then after that, Industrial began to grab some iron. I mean, he was already getting quick into the game and wanted to get some early iron. Well, right after, BLGZYT began to mine, which of course you can gather resources and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure you all understand the game. Right after, Corbin Leo joined, and Corbin was a pretty behind. So he began to just take in the world just like BLGZYT, and was greeting the local wildlife in the same way by punching them and realizing that they fight back, which was quite unpleasant. After this, Industrial actually did something really interesting. He found a ruined portal, which could maybe get him some resources early on. And not only that, but he also found a nearby cave and began killing skeletons. But instead of killing the skeletons, he died himself, which was, yeah, he was probably pretty mad. Well, fortunately, Industrial was able to retrieve all his items back after almost losing all of his stuff. And, not long after that, BLGZYT had actually found the ruined portal as well. And something really interesting happened. They didn't kill each other, but rather they began to kind of mine together, which meant that likely this would form an alliance later on. So now, BLGZYT started chasing down Corbin rather than trying to form an alliance. He did this probably because he needed resources, or that he just didn't like Corbin. Either way, BLGZYT and Industrial later met up, and they were just kind of raiding the village for even more resources. Not only that, but it appeared that Corbin now had to restart and had nothing. Not long after that, it appeared the first major battle started, where essentially Corbin was just trying to grab some iron from an iron golem. But everyone else wanted the iron as well, so they kind of fought each other for the iron golem. And it ended up with each player dying. Right after that, Industrial began to grab iron, and, kind of failed and, died. And after that, he began to kill the Iron Golem. Now, can you guess what happens next? Can you guess what happens next? You think he killed the Iron Golem? Well, no, he just died again. Now, Corbin was desperate and decided to make Mother Nature a worse enemy than all the enemies he had had. Yeah, I don't see why Corbin did that. He then kind of died by the animals. Then, after that, Industrial began to go mining, which was pretty good for him. I mean, he didn't really find anything, but still. Not only that, but it turned out that Corbin began to make progress and started making a farm. Do you remember at the beginning of the video where I said sand explodes? Yeah, Corbin ended up figuring that out. See, he went over to the farm and started mining some sand, and eventually he found out that it explodes. And tried to use that as a defense against Industrial, but unfortunately, as he was trying to block his way off, that didn't work out too well. Corbin right now is likely furious. I mean, he was already killed by Industrial at least twice. So, for the good news for him was that BLGZYT began to leave the island so that he could find another island to stay. That way, they can have a secret base. Then Industrial joined BLGZYT, and they decided to start discovering this island together. Now, there's a lot of things here, and it turned out that the island was going to be a very nice secret base as well. Corbin began to take things serious. He began to start building a secret chest so that he can stash away all of his stuff. And it turned out that also the island that BLGZYT and Industrial settled on had plenty of resources. I mean, they had a whole water cave, so Industrial began to mine some of those resources. Corbin began to use his farm to take advantage so that he can maybe get some food if he ever gets attacked again. And then, Corbin decided to use an auto clicker on an iron golem. Yeah, don't ask me why. But Industrial and BLGZYT actually had a really nice base going, which could maybe help them in the future. And Corbin began to actually punch even more iron golems. Honestly, the fact that he killed both of them is just impressive. So Corbin had began to kill the iron golems and gather their resources, which was a good idea, and also stored them in a secret chest. And then after that, he began to go mining some, which could maybe yield him even more resources. So he was eventually going to be catching up. And then Fire Glitch joined, and I decided I would give him a secret gift, an iron block, because he was a bit behind on the server. So as soon as Fire Glitch joined, he began to, well, meet the local wildlife, as everyone else. And then it turned out in Industrial and BLGZYT's base, they were actually doing really good. Not to mention, they were actually upgrading it even more. But then, BLGZYT was just planting a bunch of saplings. I don't know any intentions behind this, but maybe there's a reason? Of course, right after that, Corbin did something funny too, as he found a column with legit no survival instinct. That column was like way too chill. But then the first important thing happened. BLGZYT decided that he would go alone and raid the village of Fire Glitch and Corbin. But don't think these two are done. BLGZYT got his stuff back, Industrial decided to kill Fire Glitch. Not only that, but he ended up attacking Corbin as well. Now, it turned out that Industrial had actually found Corbin's chest, and being the most geared player on the server, he gave a sword to BLGZYT. So they almost attacked Corbin for a second, but he really didn't have anything at all. I mean, he was kind of broke, so they decided to stop. Not only that, Corbin was now left to restart and start doing nothing but mining wood. Like if you think Corbin can defeat industrial bombs at the end of the next episode.